Hello and welcome. Today we're going to tackle a huge challenge that so many of us face, especially as adult learners: how to actually get better at speaking a new language. We'll be looking at insights from the recent IETFL conference to explore this, well, it's a real clash of titans: the trusted human teacher versus the tireless AI tutor. So, which one really moves the needle? Let's dive in. I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? If you're an adult trying to level up your language skills for your job or for school, you know the old classroom drills just don't cut it anymore. And practicing by yourself, well, it only gets you so far. You need feedback. The question is, what kind of feedback actually helps you improve? And where on earth do you get it?
And right there, that's the heart of the problem. For most of us, getting good, regular advice on our speaking is a massive hurdle. It can be expensive, it's hard to schedule, and let's be real, it can be kind of nerve-wracking. But if you don't get it, you're pretty much just guessing, flying blind.
Yeah, and for adult learners, the pressure is really on. This isn't just about passing a test for a grade. Nailing your speaking skills could be the one thing that lands you a new job, gets you that promotion you've been working for, or makes it possible to succeed in a graduate program. The stakes are super high, which makes finding the right kind of feedback an absolute must. So, let's look at our first contender, the classic human-led approach. For, well, forever, the gold standard has been sitting down with a real person: a teacher, a coach, a tutor, someone who can actually listen, understand the nuance, and guide you. It's all about that human connection. And the human touch is incredibly deep and varied. At the IATFL conference, you could really see the range. We're talking about everything from high-level communication coaching to really specific strategies for giving vocabulary feedback in a group setting. But the big theme was this idea of moving past just pointing out mistakes. It's about turning feedback into a real conversation, a partnership that helps you go from, oh, I made a mistake, to, okay, here's how I'm going to fix it. This phrase right here, from feedback to dialogue, it just perfectly sums up the human-centered philosophy. The point isn't for a teacher to just be a judge and hand down a verdict. No way. The goal is to start a conversation, to figure things out together, and to work as a team toward getting better. It's a true partnership. But okay, now a powerful new challenger has stepped into the ring. AI is completely changing the game when it comes to practice and feedback. And it's promising something totally different: feedback that's instant, data-driven, and available 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. So how does this whole AI thing actually work? Well, it's usually a pretty straightforward three-step process. First, you speak. You record your voice responding to some kind of prompt. Then, the AI does its magic. It analyzes everything: your pronunciation, your grammar, your fluency, the whole shebang. And boom, step 3, you get an instant report on how you did. And this isn't just for little practice apps on your phone anymore. AI is getting serious. We're seeing it used in dynamic assessments that actually adapt to your skill level as you speak. Even crazier, big companies are now using these AI systems for really important internal speaking tests, the kind that can actually decide whether you get a promotion. Yeah, AI is officially in the big leagues. Okay, so this sets up the ultimate showdown, right? On one side, you've got the nuanced, empathetic human teacher. On the other, the objective, always-on AI tutor. But what really matters is how we as adult learners actually use and feel about these two very different kinds of feedback. And this is where it gets super interesting. Some recent research looked at exactly this with graduate students, and the findings were fascinating. When it came to their human teachers, students saw the feedback as empathetic and nuanced. It felt like a real conversation where they could ask questions and dig deeper. But with the AI, they valued something completely different. They loved that it was totally objective and non-judgmental. It felt like a safe space to just practice and fix mistakes without feeling embarrassed or self-conscious. This chart just lays it out so clearly. Look at how learners perceive the value. Humans, hands down, win on empathy, that feeling that someone really gets it. But then look at where the AI shines: objectivity. And, of course, pure speed. It's not that one is just better than the other, it's that learners are using them and valuing them for completely different reasons. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. Okay, after all of that, which one should you go with? Which one is actually better? Well, it turns out that might be the wrong question entirely. The conversation is shifting away from human versus machine. The real focus, the thing we should really be talking about, is what makes feedback work in the first place, no matter who or what is giving it. And that brings us to this key idea: feedback literacy. This is a game changer. It's a learner's ability to actually understand the feedback they get, to process it, and, this is the most important part, to actually use it to get better. Because honestly, without that skill, the best advice in the world is just noise. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. This is the bottom line. The ultimate test of any feedback is super simple. Does it change what you do? Does it help you finally stop making that one grammar mistake you always make? If it doesn't lead to action, it's not really working. So the future isn't about one side winning. It's about a powerful partnership. The smartest way forward seems to be a hybrid approach. You use AI for the high repetition daily grind, getting tons of objective feedback on things like pronunciation. Then you take that information to a human coach for those high-impact sessions on strategy, nuance, and the kind of real dialogue that a machine just can't do. Which really brings it all back to you. The whole debate, human versus AI, it's interesting, for sure. But maybe the best feedback isn't defined by where it comes from. Maybe, just maybe, the best feedback is simply the feedback you actually use.